After months of back and forth, EU members have finally agreed on the design of an artificial price ceiling for natural gas purchases, at least for those purchases on Europe's primary exchange, where prices have skyrocketed in recent months. Brussels touts the agreement as another sign of solidarity. Experts wonder if it'll even work.
EU members from Eastern and Southern Europe got what they wanted, a lower level for the gas price gap to kick in at 180 euros per megawatt hour. That's more than 100 euros lower than the European Commission initially proposed. And it's something the Netherlands couldn't agree to, with good reasons, critics say.
What the Commission is doing here is fiddling with the only energy market that is in Europe. I mean, it's the only commodities that we are trading in Europe, which is the TTF in the Netherlands. And so therefore, the Dutch have understood that traders will move away from the TTF and will revert back to the UK. So I think what we've done today is a massive gift to the UK because it's going to be the main trading hub for gas again.
The EU's gas price gap will also hurt Norway, a major energy partner which Brussels asked to increase gas volumes to mitigate Russian supply disruption. Norway won't welcome the idea of selling gas at a lower price, much like other energy exporters.
It's going to have a distorted impact, plus it will perhaps reduce security of supply. I mean, we will see traders will soon try to test this new cap to see what's happening.
Many fear producers will steer their gas tankers to markets with higher prices, leaving the EU in the cold. Meanwhile, price cap supporters say the cap isn't fixed and can be higher if supplies run low.
My colleague Aya Ibrahim joins me for more out of Brussels. Aya, we just heard several reasons in that piece for why this cap isn't a good idea. Why did the EU then pursue this and ultimately agree to it then?
I think it's massive political pressure from Eastern and Southern European countries, as that report has mentioned, who really have a fear that prices might spiral completely out of control, as we have seen very high prices, especially in September and August. I mean, we have seen this since the beginning of Russia's war on Ukraine, and they really believe that this will shield households and consumers, and that's why a compromise had to be found on this price cap.
Prices spiking at one point to 350 euros a megawatt hour on that exchange in August, I believe. It seems like a no-brainer. Why was it so hard then for nations to agree on this cap? What exactly were the sticking points?
I mean, what we have right now, I think it's more helpful to think of it as a brake or kind of correction mechanism that would kick in case the price reaches this 180 euros that you mentioned. And it's a huge compromise from what was initially proposed. I mean, the initial price was around 275 euros instead of 180. And there's also now the regulatory bodies of the EU will actually have to now conduct an assessment to see the veracity of the markets and if the markets can really take this kind of regulation. And we are told that if that assessment turns out or shows that there's too much risk, the assessment, the price cap or this correction mechanism might actually be revisited. So it has come through a lot of compromise, and now member states feel that there's enough security or there's enough clauses within this agreement that could allow a reversal, because they fear that this might actually just destroy supply, and then the European Union would end up with a whole other set of problems on its hands. That the supply of this energy would just go elsewhere to the highest bidder, if you will.
You mentioned the pressure coming from Southern and Eastern European nations in particular on this. Brussels says, hey, this is a show of solidarity, that we've passed this. Does this mean that these complicated gas issues are now solved, essentially, or is it going to remain complicated for the coming years, months? I mean, we're in the middle of winter.
This is by no means a silver bullet, nor is this the end of, I think, the discussion on this. I mean, with anything that is related to, dealing with the effects of the war in Ukraine, there's always that question of solidarity between EU member states. I mean, not everybody voted for this yesterday. I mean, let's remember this. This decision did not require unanimity. We had Austria and the Netherlands abstaining, and Hungary just voting against it altogether. So I expect bumps ahead.
All right. Aya Ibrahim in Brussels. Thank you.